VMware Workstation 8 allows us to map the contents of a virtual hard disk file to a drive letter. In other words, it allows us to map the virtual hard disk onto a host machine, thus making the contents of that virtual hard drive easily accessible to the host operating system. It's the easier way to perform any type of data backup operation in a host system. Of course, this can also be accomplished by initiating the virtual machine and establishing a shared folder. But this is a bit more involved than simply mapping a drive letter. To get started, we must be ready with the .vmdk file that we want to explore. To access the virtual disk onto the host system, click on File menu and go to Map Virtual Disk option from the drop-down list. Once we select Map Virtual Disk option, a new wizard called Map or Disconnect Virtual Disks will appear on the screen. Click on the Map button given on the screen to select the virtual disk to be mapped in a physical system. On clicking the Map button, a new dialog box appears on the screen. Click on the Browse option to choose the .vmdk virtual disk file, which is to be mapped in the host system. The next step is to select the volume drive from the disk, that is, the partition within the virtual disk which needs to be mapped. This should be followed by selecting the drive letter to be mapped in the host system and clicking on the OK button to continue. On completion of the steps mentioned in the earlier slides, it will be observed that the device is listed in the panel. It will be observed that the mapped drive is now visible in My Computer, which is now accessible from the host system. In order to remove the mapping of the disk from the host system, select the map disk and click on the Disconnect button given on the screen. So far, we have understood the steps to map virtual disks. In the following slide, we will discuss the snapshot.